Okay, it's still July 20th. It's still day one. And I just downloaded Audacity onto my PC. And I'm just gonna tinker around because I have a Mac too that I was gonna that I could always, sorry, I know I'm moving the camera so much, that I could use GarageBand on. But since my mic is already mounted to my desk, I'm just trying to test out doing it to my PC. So we'll see. I haven't used Audacity in a while. I don't even know what I'm saying yet. I was listening to the beginning of, it don't have to be perfect. You hear me like talking myself through it. Let's just see if I can connect this microphone. Let's just see if I know how to do that. I still have my fan on. Let's see. It's been a long day. This is probably not the most flattering view of the side back of my matted hair. I was napping. I just took Prince for a walk. Prince is my 90-pound bull mastiff puppy. Let's see. Preferences? No. I just wanna test. Nope. Microphone. Okay, it sees it. And then I have no idea. Should it be mono or should it be stereo? I have no clue. Test. Let's see, file, new. Nope. I already had a track open. Test. This is this is the Hollywood Bound Actor Podcast, episode 1. Let's see what happens. Okay. Oh, I think because the mic is plugged in, I'm not gonna be able to hear. Let's take that back. Test. This is this is the Hollywood Bound Actor Podcast, episode 1. Let's see what happens. Okay. It recorded. Gonna delete. Select the audio for delete. You get to see me do all this lovely stuff. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna plug it back up and go for it. I'ma go for it. Y'all are seeing me all kinds of au natural today. Ugh. So I'm just gonna talk and you can just hang out with me. This is episode, this is a test episode. Let me make sure my phone is off. It's hot in here too. My the air is only in the living room. So there's that. All right, let's go. Let's just go for it. Pop screen. Come on, pop screen. Needs to be tighter. I believe in just trying, just going for it and figuring it out later. Otherwise, you get caught up in perfection, and that has not gotten me far in life. I just do. Let's go for it. Hey, it's the Hollywood Bound Actors Podcast. This is episode, oh my God, I said that. What's up? It's, do I want to say my name first? It's your host, Christine Horn. Because the intro is going to say my name. So we'll see. I don't know. Let's not make it deep, Christine. I got my clock. I can watch my timer. This is it. What's up? It's Christine Horn, and welcome to the Hollywood Bound Actor Podcast. This is episode number 1. I am so excited. I'm a little nervous, but stick around because I want to just introduce myself to you, and I want to let you know what you can expect from this awesome podcast for actors. Man, this is... Okay. So weird. Okay, I feel like I got it. Let's go again. I'm sweating. What's up? Hey, it's Christine Horn, and welcome to the Hollywood Bound Actor Podcast. This is episode number 1. You heard me right, number 1. And today we are just going to talk about, there's no we, Christine. There's no we. I do that all the time. Okay, this is it. This is it. Y'all are making me nervous. Maybe that's what it is. I'm going to get used to this camera just watching me. It's hot. Okay. What's up? It's Christine Horn, and welcome to the Hollywood Bound Actor Podcast. This is episode number 1, and I want to just welcome you, and I want to let you know what you are in store for when you listen to this podcast. This is the number 1 source for actors who want to work in film and television, and this is episode 1, and I'm so excited. I'm a little nervous too, but stick around, and I will take some time today to introduce myself, share my story, why you should be listening to this, and what you can expect. So be sure you stay tuned. Today's podcast is sponsored by Hollywood Bound Actors Live, coming to Atlanta, Georgia on Saturday, August 25th, 2018, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Spend 6 hours with me, Christine Horn, and learn about mindset, acting, marketing, and auditioning, and how you can become a booking magnet. For more information, be sure you visit www.hollywoodboundactor.com. All right, welcome back. Again, this is episode 1, and I'm so excited. I'm actually taping myself too for my YouTube channel. I'm doing a behind the scenes, kind of a making of the Hollywood Bound Actor Podcast, taking Gary Vaynerchuk's lead on just documenting this journey. But I am so glad you are here. I'm glad you are tuned in. I have been wanting to do a new podcast for some time now, and I kept putting it off. But due to great avenues and apps like Anchor and all these other things, I decided to just jump on it. And I'm really in the throes of really stepping up the marketing and the brand awareness and visibility for the Hollywood Bound Actors movement, which you are now a part of. And I was like, now is the time. So welcome. You get to see how I go through this thing, but I'm really excited. You know, years ago, oh gosh, I must have been like 2010-ish. I had a podcast for a hot second. It was called Beyond the Shade, where I interviewed actresses of color, and we talked about what it was like in the industry being an actress of color, and what, you know, the different things that we went through. But that was a long time ago. It wasn't very fancy. But fast forward to now, it's 2018, and I have been doing a ton of coaching and a ton of acting, and I want to just share my stories and share some tips and tricks to get you booked more. And not just to book more work, but also to live a life that you love. If you are new to me, I want to say welcome. I want to say, what's up? Be sure to subscribe, leave a comment, leave a review, so that more people can hear about this podcast. But just so we can all get on the same page together, I want to just introduce myself to you briefly and let you know what you can expect in the coming episodes. My name is Christine Horn. I am a professional working Hollywood actress. I've been doing this, man, for over 20 years. If you break it down into hours, it'd be over 175,000 hours. If we want to go Malcolm Gladwell style, you know, the 10,000 hours to master anything, right? So I love acting. It's all I've ever wanted to do. I grew up in the theater, born and raised in New York in the Bronx. When I was turning 15, my mother decided we were moving to Atlanta, Georgia, aka the South. For anybody from the North, we just called anything South just the South. But, you know, in hindsight, it was the best move my mother could have made, and I ended up going to a performing arts high school called Tri-Cities High School. And then from there, I went to the American Musical Dramatic Academy in New York, back in New York City. And after that, I just kind of, hustled 9 to 5s, 5 to 10s, worked, nightclubs, waitressing, you know, hostessing, you know, a day job at a nonprofit. And the typical thing that a lot of us actors have to do, we have to find survival jobs. And I was lucky to have many. But I've always loved performing and kept performing and producing shows in between there. I'm also a singer. I have 2 albums out actually on iTunes. And so that's just always been in my blood. I would say my big theater break came in 2006 when I booked a role in Disney's The Lion King. So I booked the national tour, and I did The Lion King for 5 years. I did 5 companies, both national tours. I did the Broadway company, Las Vegas, and I even got to go to Germany and workshop it for a bit. I'm sweating, y'all. That's all. Like, I'm not nervous, but it is hot in this room that I'm recording in. So the people watching this video are going to be like, ooh, she's sweating. Anyway, you know, I always had a desire to do more film and television. Prior to booking Lion King, I had some small bit parts like in Stomp the Yard with Columbus Short, some small things like that, some indie films. And I first moved to Los Angeles right when the company was closing at Mandalay Bay Casino. So when we closed Lion King there, I was like, I am driving to Los Angeles. And I want to say this was like 2011, 2010. And I literally drove. We closed. I drove to LA, found a place on Craigslist, or a roommate, sight unseen. You know, I used Google Earth to look at the neighborhood. And I just like, I'm going to do this. And I'm like, I'm talented. I've been on Broadway. And I got a reality check pretty quickly. Now, I'm not one to teach, and I certainly don't believe that there are rules that I have to follow. But what I do know is that I wasn't prepared. And what I do know is it was a hard transition for me coming from theater, trying to do the LA thing with TV and film, especially when I didn't have any TV credits to begin. So maybe if you're listening, you might be a brand new actor who's looking to make that break, or you might be an actor who, like me, had tons of experience in acting and in the craft, but was new to the film and television world. And it was very frustrating. You know, I was surviving off of unemployment and savings, and just to do something, I would do local theater here in Los Angeles, you know, and at the time, Los Angeles has, and still does, has a lot of small theaters, 99-seat houses where you get paid like $11 a show, you know, and I did some bigger union shows here as well, but it was not what I came here to do, and it became very frustrating. And to be in total transparency, you know, I ended up I started having some health problems. I was really depressed. I was lonely, even though I had a boyfriend, but he was in Atlanta at the time. And you know, it got to a point, I had been here for maybe a year and a half, not even 2 full years, I don't think. And I was like, I need to go back to Atlanta. My savings are running out. You know, I'm just barely making it with unemployment. And I'm bored more than anything. You know, I did study with some coaches, and I did produce a short film. Like, I stayed as busy as I could. Maybe you can relate to that, but I was not seeing momentum. And I signed with an agency theatrically that never sent me out. And in hindsight, my resume wasn't ready. You know, the reality of Los Angeles is television rules. And if you want to work in TV, it's like a catch-22. Like, it's like hard to get that first shot when no one will give it to you. But you need it on your resume to work. So I ended up moving back to Atlanta, and with a plan. I was like, I'm going to get coaches. I'm going to do some spiritual work. I'm going to work on my personal development. I'm going to get a job. I'm going to save some money. And I'm just going to grind. And I'm going to take any role possible. Anything. Could be one line, could be no lines, could be whatever. And I set on a mission. And I think in my personal development, spiritual journey, I learned so much about myself and who I was as a person, who Christine Horn was as a person, beyond the glitz, the glamour, and the not so glitz and glamour. And I truly believe that made a huge impact, in addition to the studying I was doing and the coaches that I hired. So, you know, I wanted to create this podcast because being a Hollywood-bound actor is not about moving to Los Angeles. It's not about, oh, I'm on my way to Hollywood. But I do believe it's about having an an awareness of what this industry is asking of you. I believe it's having an awareness of what the standards are to work in this industry. Because you could, just like I did, work a ton in Atlanta in a smaller market. You can work in Miami, you can work in New York, Chicago, Dallas. But I believe what will make you stand out as an actor from all the other actors in your town or your city is your level of professionalism, the way that you market yourself, the way that you approach auditions, the way that you approach bookings, the way that you approach your life and find balance. And so that is what you can expect to hear all about here on the Hollywood Bound Actor Podcast. I believe that what made a huge difference in me going from literally 0 television credits, and I do mean 0. So I'm talented, Broadway, honey, tours, and not working really took a huge blow to my ego, to my confidence. I know what that feels like, to feel like you are meant for more. You have a burning in your belly, you have a desire, but it's like no one will give you a chance. And I believe what made a big difference for me is what I now teach when I'm coaching one-on-one clients, when I coach the students in my Booking Magnet Academy, which is an online academy that I have for actors. You guys will learn more about that another time. And for me, it's a 4-step methodology that I'm going to talk about time and time again as we get to know each other on this podcast. And I call it your MAMA, M-A-M-A. That's mindset, acting, marketing, auditioning. I believe all 4 of those, all 4 pieces of those are what helped me become what I call the booking magnet that I am today. I do believe I am a booking magnet. I believe we're all magnets. And I'll do a whole separate episode on that. But because so much is the mindset. So fast forward to me working a ton in Atlanta and life-changing. I ended up getting married, not to that guy who I was originally dating, but to someone else who I dated 16 years ago. That's a whole long story. Maybe I'll invite my husband Garland on the podcast one day. But, I started really getting a momentum, really, I booked a recurring guest star role on a show on USA called Complications. Like, I just started working a lot. You can certainly check my IMDb to get to know me a bit more. But from there, I realized then I was meant for more. I was ready for my next level because I felt like I was reaching a ceiling in Atlanta. And though I still work in Atlanta, we can talk about working in the Southeast, certainly. I knew I wanted to do more. So at the top of 2017, my husband and I and my dog Prince, we got in the car, we sold everything from our house. What we didn't sell, we donated. And we left our 3-bedroom, 2-bath house with a garage in the front and backyard to move back to Los Angeles in a 1-bedroom apartment in the valley. And it was the best decision I could have made. And I'm grateful to have a partner who believed in me and was willing to come and leave everything and everyone that he knew to support me in my dream. And when I tell you, I already had management out here, and I can go into that another day, but I ended up getting a new agent immediately and booked, my first guest star 2, maybe 3 weeks here. And then after that, I booked a recurring guest star on American Crime Story about Versace with Ryan Murphy. And then I booked a recurring role on Marvel's Legion on FX. So I got to be on 2 FX shows like within months. And it's just gone on and on and on from there. I just recently had a huge breakout playing Harriet Tubman on the hit show Timeless. So things have gone amazingly well, and I am here to share my journey with you. I am here to invite some of my working actor friends to share their stories with you. I am here to just not only inspire you and motivate you, but to give you some tangible tips, some tangible strategies that have worked for me. And I want you to just take this journey with me, come on the ride, and take notes, and be sure to tell another actor friend. Thank you for tuning in for this first episode, and I hope you are ready to go on a journey and to have some fun and to learn a ton. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. I did it! Ah! Hold on now, before I get too excited. Where's the save button? Where is the save? Save project as. Save project is for an Audacity project, not an audio file. Well, let's just do that first. Yay! I did it! Okay. Let's make a new folder. Let's call this HBA. HBA. Y'all see how much I'm sweating? Oh my God. Put this fan back on. Ooh, couldn't have it. I mean, dripping. HBA podcast. That was fun. I'm trying to keep them at 20 minutes. And I'm kind of thinking about also, I can already tell you now they're going to be longer than 20 minutes. I can talk. And once I get a guest, oh wow. So we're just going to call this episode 1. Excuse me. Yay. Now I guess I'll export. All right. Well, that was my attempt. Well, not attempt. I think that was more than an attempt. Let's play it back. Let's see if it plays back. Let's play it. Make sure. On a journey and to have some fun and to learn a ton. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Yes! I'm excited. All right. So let's export as a wave because I don't plan on, as of now, I don't plan on editing these. I found an editor. I found an editor already online who I reached out to today, and he suggested to save it as a WAV file because that's bigger. Oh, that's where I put the metadata. All right, I gotta go figure this out. I was watching some Pat Flynn. Shout out to Pat Flynn, Amy Porterfield, Gary Vaynerchuk, who are all inspirations for me starting this new podcast up the right way. So I need to watch his tutorial on making sure I tag this stuff right. All right. I can't wait for it to hear how this all sounds once I get the intro and the outro and someone actually edits it. And I'm going to brainstorm tonight about some more topics. And hey, if you have a topic you want me to talk about, put it in the comments below and I will add it to my list. Bye.